Mengzi and the Woodcutter. One autumn morning, the sky was crystal clear, and the soft sunlight filtered through the forest canopy, illuminating a small path blanketed with golden leaves. Mengzi, the renowned philosopher, strolled leisurely along the serene trail. He cherished walks like these, not just for relaxation, but to immerse himself in the simplicity of life among the hard-working people he so deeply sought to understand and guide. As he approached a small stream, he heard the rhythmic sound of an axe striking wood. The sound drew him deeper into the dense forest, where he found a woodcutter hard at work. The man, middle-aged with sun-darkened skin and calloused hands, had a heavy bundle of firewood slung over his shoulder. His demeanor exuded strength honed through years of relentless labor. Yet there was also an air of weariness and resignation, a sense of being trapped in an unchanging cycle. Mengzi stopped and greeted him with a warm smile. "My friend, you've been working since early morning. Aren't you tired?" The woodcutter looked up to see a man with an air of refinement, his clothes spotless and his face calm and radiant. Surprised, he replied politely, "Good day, sir. I'm used to this work. It's tiring, but if I don't work, my family won't have food to eat." Mengzi nodded, his expression reflecting genuine understanding. After a pause, he asked, "How long have you been doing this? And how much wood can you gather each day?" The woodcutter sighed, setting his axe down as he wiped the sweat from his brow. "I've been at this for more than 10 years. I work hard to cut as much as I can each day, but my strength is fading. I don't know what I'll do when I can no longer keep up." There was a weight of uncertainty in the man's words, a silent fear of the future. Mengzi studied him thoughtfully before speaking again. "You are diligent, responsible, and hardworking. But tell me, have you ever considered that if you only cut wood all your life without learning anything new, this work might not sustain you forever? What will you do then?" The woodcutter froze. Mengzi's words struck a chord deep within, awakening a worry he had long tried to ignore. After a moment of hesitation, he replied frankly, "Sir, you're right, but I'm a poor man. My days are spent earning a living. I don't have time to learn. And even if I did, I wouldn't know where to start. I have no teacher, no books. How can someone like me learn?" Mengzi smiled gently, his gaze steady and reassuring. He sat down on a nearby rock, gesturing for the woodcutter to join him. Then, after a moment of reflection, he asked, "When you cut this bundle of wood, do you fell the entire forest in one go? Or do you chop it tree by tree?" The woodcutter chuckled at the absurdity of the question. "Of course, I cut it tree by tree. There's no way I could carry an entire forest at once." Mengzi nodded, his eyes glinting with approval. "Exactly. Your work, gathering wood, is a process of steady accumulation, one tree at a time. Learning is the same. No one expects you to know everything in a single day. If you dedicate just a little time each day to learning something new, like each swing of your axe, your knowledge will grow steadily until one day it transforms your life." The woodcutter fell silent, his thoughts racing. What Mengzi said resonated deeply, yet the idea felt foreign, almost unattainable. He hesitated, then asked, "But I have no books. No great teacher like you. What can I learn? And how can I even begin?" Mengzi gestured toward a distant mountain, its silhouette rising majestically against the horizon. "Do you see that mountain? Its grandeur and strength come from the countless grains of earth and stones that have accumulated over time. Learning is no different. You don't need to start with grand things. Begin with what's around you. Learn from nature, from the people in your village, from the work you do every day. Most importantly, be persistent. If you make time each day to learn, even if it's something small, you'll look back one day and realize how far you've come." Mengzi's words felt like a cool breeze sweeping through the woodcutter's mind, clearing away the fog of doubt. For the first time in years, the man felt a flicker of hope. He looked down at his calloused hands and thought, if these hands can chop trees day after day, surely they can also create something meaningful. From that day forward, the woodcutter began to change. He no longer worked like an automaton, going through the motions. Instead, he paid attention to the world around him. He learned to distinguish the types of trees, some that should be cut and others that should be preserved to maintain the forest's health. He listened attentively to the elders in his village, absorbing the wisdom in their stories. Despite his fatigue at the end of each day, he set aside a few moments each evening to reflect on what he had learned. As time passed, the woodcutter's skills and knowledge grew. He not only became more efficient in his work, but also started inventing tools that made his tasks easier and more productive. His newfound understanding of forestry earned him respect from his fellow villagers, who often sought his advice. One day, Mengzi returned to the forest. As he walked the familiar path, he spotted the woodcutter. But this time, the man he saw was no longer the weary, resigned figure from before. Instead, he saw a confident man with a radiant expression, carrying his bundle of wood with pride and ease. The woodcutter approached Mengzi, bowing deeply in gratitude. His eyes sparkled with sincerity as he spoke. "Sir, your words that day changed my life. I've not only improved my work, but also found a deeper meaning in what I do. Now, I no longer live just to survive, I live with purpose." Mengzi smiled, placing a reassuring hand on the man's shoulder. "Well done. You've learned that education is not something distant or grand, it's in the everyday lessons we gather from life. True wisdom lies in seeing and seizing those opportunities to grow." The story of Mengzi and the woodcutter serves as a timeless reminder. No matter one's circumstances, small, consistent efforts can lead to profound change. Learning and success don't require dramatic leaps, they are built through daily persistence and the courage to begin. No matter how small the step. Most importantly, change begins with the simple belief that growth is possible, even if it starts as just a tiny spark in one's heart.